Everybody wants to find the perfect match for their financial needs. Secured savings, stress-free access to affordable loans, instant mobile money transfers to MTN and Orange Cameroon, and even a share in the profits as a member owner. For over 7 years, Rencam Credit Union has been the perfect match for Cameroonians living in the UK and other nationals with interest in the Cameroonian heritage. Visit rencam.co.uk. Join Rencam Credit Union today, achieving success together. Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Woman Experience with me, your host, Goretti. I want to say good evening to Mabi, Cindy, somebody's got a Russian name, and to Louisa, Eunice. Thank you guys so much for joining it, and especially for joining on time. I appreciate you. Thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with us. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome to the Woman Experience with me, Goretti. I am the host of the show, and then I've got my guests, the guests who are on the screen. In this case, for the first time, we're having two people on the show as guests, and then you, who is watching at home, on whatever device you are watching via, you are my third guest. So the Woman Experience is a platform that we have created to create a learning platform via our shared experiences. That's what we believe in. And we are so proud of the Woman Experience community, or the Woman Experience tribe, our regulars who have been there from day one, lending their support. We appreciate you as usual. Our platform is very interactive. So if you have any questions, any comments, any resources, any suggestions as the conversation is going on, please make sure you leave it in the comments. And if it's a question, what I do is I try my best as possible to read the question. If it's a comment that's relevant to the bit of the conversation we're having at that time, I do my best to read it. I can't promise to read everyone's comments or questions, but we try our best, and we encourage our main guests to go back and respond to your questions in the comments. So whichever way, we make sure that your questions are answered. So thank you so much. Thank you. I want to welcome you. Tonight, we're talking about Rencam Credit Union. I am sure that you guys have seen, especially the past few weeks, I have been showing an advert, the Rencam Credit Union advert. It's actually a commitment. Well, you will find out. That's what we're talking about tonight. But I think that I have found what's a credit union that our community really needs, and that our community will really benefit from. You know me, I try and ask the questions, and I think looking around, especially being on a platform like this, looking around and trying to find something that would help me personally, Rencam, especially my finance in this time, Rencam proved to be that for me. And I was so excited to share it with you. And that's why I continue to share the advert every time, because I really, really, truly believe in Rencam Credit Union. I am so happy that they agreed to come on the show to talk to us about what Rencam Credit Union is. So tonight we have two people who will be talking about Rencam Credit Union. We have Mr. George Fomba, who holds a master's degree in civil and structural engineering. Basically, what I can say about Mr. George Fomba is he truly is a pillar in the Cameroonian community in the United Kingdom. He is that. I was going to focus on his professional career, but I thought, I'm sure if you haven't heard of Mr. George Fomba, you should be getting to know Mr. George Fomba. He is the treasurer for Rencam Credit Union. He is currently the treasurer of the Akum Welfare Association, a post that he's held for 20 years. For somebody to hold a post like that for 20 years tells you the caliber and the integrity this person holds. And also, he's held the position for when Rencam started as a credit in Jangi. He was their treasurer for over 15 years. And so again, that should tell you the kind of person that's talking to. And our second guest is going to be, I call him Uncle Sammy. Uncle Sammy he's a qualified chartered certified accountant, but he is another pillar of the Cameroonian community. And these are people that if you're watching this show for the first time and you're yet to meet, I am very glad you're here today, because these are people within the wider Cameroonian community that you should know about. So it is truly an honor to have them on the show tonight. So welcome, Uncle George first, and Uncle Sammy. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hello, good evening to you and everyone who is watching us today, who has joined us today.
It's indeed a pleasure to be on your show.
It is an honor for me. I am so proud to be affiliated to you guys in some capacity. So we're glad. So tonight we're here to talk about Rencam Credit Union. And by the way, if you're just joining us, and you missed the promo, I'm going to play that again just for a couple of seconds so you know what we're talking about today. So there you go. Everybody wants to find the perfect match for their financial needs. Secured savings, stress-free access to affordable loans, instant mobile money transfers to MTN and Orange Cameroon, and even a share in the profits as a member owner. For over 7 years, Rencam Credit Union has been the perfect match for Cameroonians living in the UK and other nationals with interest in the Cameroonian heritage. Visit rencam.co.uk. Join Rencam Credit Union today, achieving success together. Hi, so that was Rencam for those who are joining us. Nora and all those who have joined Francine, thank you guys for joining. So let's just go straight to it, Uncle Sammy and Uncle George. First of all, why Rencam? The name Rencam. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So what's the meaning of the name Rencam, by the way?
Right. Rencam stands for Reading Jangi of Cameroonians, for short. The name Rencam represented in Jangi Group in Reading, which started in 1994. And after its 10th anniversary, we took the strategic decision to form a credit union, hence Rencam Credit Union.
Okay. So what is, for the benefits of those who are watching, what is a credit union and how does it differ from a bank?
Right. A credit union is a community bank. It is a legal deposit-taking institution. And those of us who are from Cameroon especially, we know that the credit union is it's at the heart of the financial system in Cameroon. They are dotted all over the place. And so we try to emulate that tradition by forming something that we will associate with, called a credit union. Yes. Yeah. Now, the difference between a credit union and a high street bank is that a high street bank, you will do your normal banking, you have current accounts, you have mortgages, and so forth and so forth. But a credit union is there to encourage its members to save and borrow amongst themselves. So it's a vehicle to actually mobilize savings, members' savings, and use those savings to give out loans to its members when the need arises. And also, credit unions do have added services, ancillary services that are designed for the benefit of the members. And in this case, we have money remittances. The credit union, the Rencam Credit Union, does facilitate money remittances around the world, focusing on Cameroon as well, just as the advert said. Yes.
Okay, so in terms of Uncle George, in terms of interest, which is preferable? Which gives me higher interest on my savings, a bank or a credit union?
Yeah, most certainly a credit union. The difference is this. As Sami mentioned, a bank is there to generate profits for its shareholders. Yeah. Okay, when you bank, you just put your money there. And if you look in the current climate, where COVID-19, in fact, you will notice all banks have cut down the interest that you get on your savings. Whereas a credit union, because we are totally different, we generate our profit within ourselves. Okay, so every profit that we generate goes back to its members. We are not answerable to an external body. So every profit that we generate effectively goes back to its members.
Oh,
so the members effectively decide how much they can make by the activities that they generate within the credit union. So in that respect, you will get a better, we don't pay interest, we pay dividends.
Great.
Okay, the dividends comes from the profit that we generate as a credit union.
Okay, so break it down to me. If I am a member Rencam Credit Union, and say I have a savings of £100, for example, and you guys, and then the bank, the credit union makes, I don't know, a profit of what, £1,000 across, maybe, let me say we have 100 members. Let's keep them simple numbers. How does that benefit me who has the savings in that account or with the credit union?
Okay, let me take that just for a brief. Okay, over the years, whatever profit that the credit union generates, your £100 will go towards a pool of funds where other members can take loans.
Yes.
From the credit union. When we pool our funds together, we can sponsor and do a lot of activities. Now, we, as Sami mentioned, we send money home. The interest that we, in fact, the commission that we generate from that goes back into the pool. So at the end of the year, all the profit that we generate after paying all our bills, like the auditor's fees, the banking levies, and all those charges, whatever is left, we throw it back to the members at the general at the AGM. We propose, our auditors will then come back to us and say, hang on, we recommend that you paid such dividend because it's our money. It's not somebody else's money. It's the members' money. It's actually owned by the members, not owned by somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's the real benefit of it. Then besides, as Sami mentioned, when you send money, do a money remittance through the credit union, we give you back a proportion of our of the sending fees.
Okay, I like that.
That's correct. We give you back a proportion of that. For every £100 that you send home, we credit 25 pence into your account.
That's really good, because because imagine how many of us send money through like Remit and people, different lenders like that, and we don't get anything back. So it's worth being a part of Rencam.
Absolutely. In fact, I would say, even though some people join the credit union purposefully just to benefit on that, that service is actually an ancillary service to what we would ideally prefer members to be saving with us, to be saving money with us and making use of these other services. And the one good thing I can tell you is this: we can almost guarantee that we will beat any money remittance fees sending to Cameroon.
Okay.
Pretty much.
That's a really, really good.
That's a challenge, actually. If somebody can find any other money remittance company that will beat us, probably let me know.
Wait, so I get. Let me say this in the way I understood. So if I'm a part of Rencam Credit Union and I send money using your money transfer system, I get a percentage of my fees back, and on top of that, I even get lower rates, or what, higher rates? Which one's
lower sending rates and better exchange rates.
Exchange rates, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Permit me, if I can add to that. Now, the reason why we are encouraging members to save with the credit union and be able to maximize their benefits with the credit union is to encourage savings, because regardless of the amount of money that you send to Cameroon and the profit that we generate, if you don't have any savings with the credit union, you will not benefit from the profit that we get from the money remittance. That is a simple fact. So we are encouraging members to save with the credit union in order to get dividends that accrue from the money remittance business, because it's a huge business for us. It's a huge business for us, and we want members to actually benefit from that by actually topping up or improving on their savings levels in order to benefit from that. Yes, in order to maximize their benefits from the credit union. Yes.
So I think Man Gwemulu says I must join this credit union. Seems really good. So I will go back now, because I obviously I know the difference between a credit union and a bank, and you said that. But I think the reason why you're able to So what as Rencam Credit Union? Is Rencam Credit Union just for Cameroonians?
No, no, it's not only for Cameroonians.
Okay.
Anyway, the credit union, the Rencam Credit Union, is used mostly by Cameroonians. I'll tell you why. The reason is because when we set off to start the credit union, our application was based on a common bond. And that common bond at the time was for Cameroonians living in the UK.
Yeah.
Now, when we put in the application to the Bank of England, they came back to us and said, no, if we maintain the common bond as it was, as proposed, then we will be flaunting the nationality laws. That would be tantamount to discrimination. So we had to vary the common bond to include other nationals who have an interest in the Cameroonian heritage. So the common bond actually revolves around the fact that you have something to do with Cameroon. Yeah. So it means that anybody from any part of the world who lives in the UK and has an interest in Cameroon can join. So I'll give you an example. If you are a member and you are living in the same house with somebody from another country, by virtue of the fact that you are living in the same house, that housemate has an interest in Cameroon because you live under the same roof.
Yeah.
Now, when they apply to become members, obviously, they will have to explain that relationship with Cameroon. Just the mere mention of your name as a member of the credit union, that means that they are affiliated. They are associated with Cameroon. Yes. So the common bond, I don't know whether we all know what the common bond is. It is something that binds us. In this case, the something that binds us is from Cameroon, Cameroonian heritage, and an interest in Cameroon.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, because that's the basis of a credit union, isn't it?
That's correct, yes. And the credit union is formed by the common bond, which could be you work and live in a particular geographic area. You belong to a certain profession, for example, accountants living, for example, in the UK can form their own credit union. The common bond is that they are accountants. Now, in the case of the credit union, our own is based on association. So the application to the FCA was based on the fact that we already had an association called Rencam Credit Union. Rencam Jangi at the time, and it's still going very strong. So that is the basis why we formed the Rencam Credit Union, which was by association. Yes. And we had to widen the field of membership and not only restrict it to those of Rencam Jangi. We wanted to widen it to include all Cameroonians and people of Cameroonian heritage and people who have an interest in the Cameroon heritage to have that opportunity to become members of the credit union. Yes.
So I think this answers our first question who asked, so is membership only for persons based in the UK?
Yes, unfortunately, that is the field of membership. A few days ago, I had an inquiry from somebody based in Europe. They wanted to know whether we have plans to extend the field of membership to Europe. And my response to them was that it is not possible because the initial application to the FCA or the Bank of England was based on the fact that is for those who live in the United Kingdom. Yes. And again, we do not want to over expand the field of membership becomes a bit cumbersome to manage. Yeah. So we had at the same kind of a balancing act, but at this moment in time, it is for those who live in the UK, I'm afraid.
So there you have it, for those who live in the UK. So I was going to ask you, and so you guys started as a Njangi group.
Correct.
what was the motivation to move from Njangi to a credit union? I mean, also this is just for the benefit of other Njangi groups by Cameroonians across, the Western world. What was the motivation to move it from Njangi group to a credit union?
Yes, actually, the credit union, the Rencam Credit Union, is a product of the Rencam Jangi, which is still going strong.
Oh, so the
Jangi is still going strong. So the credit union is just an offshoot, is a separate legal entity. It's a separate entity from the Rencam Jangi, which is ever so growing. We have about 50 members at the moment. Anyway, so the credit union was born out of the Rencam Jangi, and the motivation behind it was after the 10th anniversary of the Njangi, the group took that decision, that strategic decision, to form a legally binding entity, an entity that will have a backing which is more secured. So we did our findings, we did feasibility studies, and came up with the concept of a credit union, to form a credit union. The project started in 2007, and through perseverance, through patience, and the passion for it, we got a license in 2013, precisely the 31st of October, and operation started the following morning. Yes. So we wanted to create something that will have a greater impact from just having Njangi. Well, I'm not trying to belittle the concept of Njangi, because this is part of our tradition, which we came along with from Cameroon in this case. But we wanted something that will be legally recognized, something that will be more secured, something that if there is some trouble with the entity, at least there is some security, there will be some compensation. Now, I just want to mention that the credit union, in this case, Rencam Credit Union, is highly regulated. And I would say that compared to the banks and other financial institutions, the credit union is disproportionately highly regulated. The reason being that the credit union concept or the credit union movement was as a result of financial exclusion. So the government stepped in to ensure that they are well run for the benefit of the members. Because, if you think of the wongas of this world, the payday lenders, they rip off the public. But for the members of the credit union, you have the regulation, the regulatory framework that shields the credit union to ensure that there is no such thing as a rip-off from the wongas of this world. And that is why the credit union cannot go above a certain range in terms of interest rates on loans. Yeah. So regardless of what is happening in the market, for example, if the Bank of England was to change its base rate to say 10% today, the credit union interest rate will not go up to follow suit, because that range is highly regulated by the regulations, as it were. Yes.
Okay. So I guess, does that answer Mabi Abuno's question, who asked, can you please explain what securities you have in place with regards to savings?
Oh, yes. Savings are well secured. The credit union is a highly regulated entity. Every 3 months, we submit reports to the FCA, to the Bank of England, as it were, demonstrating the performance, the operational and financial performance of the credit union. We do have external auditors who watch over us and supply reports independently to the FCA, the Bank of England, on the performance of the credit union. And we also have what we call the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, which, if anything was to go wrong with the credit union, all members are guaranteed their savings up to £85,000. That is fact. That is a fact. So, in that regard, member savings are well secured. You will not lose a penny if the credit union goes under, or if you had some rogue directors who are corrupt, for example. I'm not saying that the credit union Rencam is corrupt. No,
Mm.
just in case the credit union goes into problems, runs into problems, your savings are guaranteed. And we do supply reports to the Financial Services Compensation Scheme on demand to show the balances of everybody. Now, when somebody joins the credit union, on the application form, we do ask for their national insurance numbers, their address, and so on, their next of kin. That information that we ask is not for just for asking sake. No, there is a purpose for doing all that. Because if the credit union runs into trouble, the Financial Service Compensation Scheme will use the national insurance number that you have mentioned on the form to trace you. They will use the address to trace you. They will use the next of kin information that you have on the application form to, to contact your next of kin if anything goes wrong, God forbid. So rest assured that the credit union, Rencam Credit Union, is highly regulated, is well secured. If anything goes wrong, your penny will not be affected. Yeah. Okay. So that is a guarantee from us, and that is a fact.
Thank you. That's a brilliant.
I might just add a little to what Sami's just said. Being a credit union, and the fact that we are meant to cater for our members, the credit union is designed by the Financial Conduct Authority so that no one individual can have kind of like control over the credit union.
Right.
Yeah, there are certain limitations in place, and those limitations are around the amount that each member can save with the credit union. Okay, so that's why those controls are in place. We have controls like that. So currently, those controls are set by the government, not by us. Okay. Because we have some members say, oh, I mean, I want to save more. No, unfortunately, we're not allowed to just take savings for any amount. Currently, I think it's limited to about £15,000, even though our financial compensation scheme payment is up to £85,000.
Okay.
So if the government were to change the rules and we are able to take in more deposits, all of you will be covered automatically anyway.
Okay, that's really great. So Marvelous is asking, what is your current interest per pound?
Interest per pound in terms of borrowing, or
just give both borrowing and
right. In terms of the borrowing rate is 0.75% simple interest. Yeah. So for every pound, let's say you borrow £1,000 today, say for over 5 years, the interest rate applicable will be 0.75%. Now, I did talk about a certain range. When a few years back, our interest rate was 1.5%. Now that was slashed by half to 0.75% a couple of years ago. The range that I referred to earlier on is 2%. So by law, the credit union cannot go with above or beyond the range of 1 and 2%. Okay. So that's the range, regardless of what happens with the Bank of England in terms of the rates, the rate movement. Yes. So just to answer that question again, the borrowing rate currently is 0.75% simple interest.
Okay, thank you. So Tessie has a question which I will not put on the screen as it covers faces. So in other words, then Njangi is not as secure as the credit union. I therefore wonder why people will sign up to the Njangi, or do you have a clause which warrants people to be members of the Njangi before they can qualify as members of the credit union?
Can I take that?
Yeah, sure, George. Go on.
Okay. Even though, as Sami mentioned earlier, the credit union was born out of Njangi. No, currently we've changed the structure. You don't have to be a member of Njangi to become a member of the credit union. No. But we expect our Jangi members to be members of the credit union, but even that is not really compulsory.
Okay.
You don't have to be a member of the credit Jangi to become, or a member of the credit union in order to become a member of the credit union. I mean, it's common sense that if you're a member of the Jangi, you should automatically become a member of the credit union. For simple reasons. In fact, one of the things that Samir actually, when he was explaining why the credit union was started, was, as Jangi members, most Jangis in the country, up and down the country, they borrow money to members.
Yeah.
Okay, but that money is not secure. There's no security if a member were to default.
Yes.
That's one of the things. That's one of the key things that, as Jangi, we were giving out loans to members, but none of those loans were secure.
Right.
You can see. So the idea of the credit union partially resolved that problem. To date, we have over 5 groups that are members of the credit union, and more are lined up to join us. So we can now have other groups open an account with the credit union as a group, as an entity. That's correct. It's not only to members, but groups can actually open a credit union account. And the joining restrictions criteria is not as stringent as with banks, simply because those groups have to have an interest in Cameroonian heritage.
Yeah.
So they are part of the society, the people that we know already in a way.
That's correct.
So I think this Tessie asked another question. So is it only for legal residents then?
Yes, you have to be legally resident in the UK. Okay. If you're just visiting, you could not really open an account with that, because you wouldn't have a proof of address. One thing that you do require, as with most financial institutions in the UK, you have to provide proof of address. So really, it's not, there is no real clause there which says you have to be a British citizen or have an indefinite leave, or no, there's no such thing. So long as you're living in the UK and you can prove that you live in the UK, but you have an address, and you also have an ID that can be validated, yes, you can join. We do require those two main forms of ID: proof of address and a valid ID.
Okay,
that's correct.
I think people in Europe really like this and really wishing they can join, because Vandolin is asking, what about joining from other countries in Europe?
As I said earlier on, I'm afraid it is not possible, given the fact that our license only permits us to admit members who are resident in the UK.
Okay. Yeah. So Adeline is asking, do you have partner banks or credit unions in Cameroon that you work with?
Well, I think that is in the pipeline. We started a scheme whereby, in order to liaise with the credit union movement through CAMCUR. Do we know CAMCUR in Cameroon? That's the umbrella for all the credit unions in Cameroon. It's called CAMCUR. Yeah. Okay. So we wanted to create a relationship such that our members here, those who are Cameroonians, would be able to open accounts at their various credit unions, be it as a credit union, Taricom credit union, Widcom credit union, or whatever, Acom credit union in this case as well. So that kind of was shelved because of the ongoing crisis. Yeah. But again, watch this space. We want to be able to arrive at a situation where we will facilitate the opening of credit union accounts by our members, so that we have that close link with the credit union movement in Cameroon.
Okay.
In terms of, sorry, I beg your pardon. In terms of links with the banks, we don't have any links with banks because the banks are profit-seeking organizations, right? So what we tend to do is we tend to seek partnership with like-minded organizations. And what better organization can you have possibly than the credit union movement in Cameroon? So the reason why we wanted to create that relationship is that you do have credit unions dotted all over Cameroon, in villages, in towns, and so on, to facilitate money remittances as well. Yeah, to have those credit unions as our payout partners in Cameroon. Yeah, but we are not there yet. It is still in the pipeline. It's something that will materialize, especially when the crisis that we're currently facing die down. Yes.
Okay. So Smiles, we're not here to talk about, I see your question, how much is the Njangi, but we're talking today about the credit union. So I'll pass on that. But the line went on, which is what you've just explained, went on to ask what's blocking this process. It will be amazing to partner with CamQ because most people in the UK have accounts in one of CamQ's subs. So
Correct.
Somebody have a question that I have missed the question. Anyway, so let me go down to it. So now, Uncle George or Uncle Sabi, what are, in this instance, Rencam Credit Union's main activities as a credit union?
Right. The main activity of any credit union is that of mobilizing savings from its members and giving out loans to members. Now, by the very nature of the credit union, we only serve members. We don't serve ordinary Joe Block down the road, not at all. You have to be a member of the credit union in order to benefit from the services of the credit union. Now, the core services of the credit union are savings mobilization as well as lending. Now, I did allude to ancillary services, which in this case is the facilitation of money remittances, especially to MTN and Orange Cameroon. We do have cash pickups as part of the money remittance, but then the main partner in Cameroon is Express Union as the payout point in Cameroon. Yes, but then mobile money has kind of overtaken the cash pickups. That's why we are pushing hard, and just as the advert says, instant money transfer to MTN and Orange Cameroon. Yes. So the core, as I said, let me just repeat, the core of the credit union is savings mobilization from its members and lending out to members, to borrowers who are members. Our members are our customers.
Yeah.
And just before I forget, Sami, now one of the key things that we're actually working on to further improve that particular experience is very soon members will be able to literally go on our website and or a particular website and literally send their own money without having to come in contact with a member of the credit union. So that is coming soon. We're trying to make that process as easy as possible, and they will still enjoy the same benefits as of now. So if you're a member, you can literally go on the website, just like you can do with World Remit. You can go to our website and just send money, and you at the same excellent rate as of now, and you will still benefit the 25p in every £100 that you send. So yeah, that's one of the key benefits, one thing that we're working on.
Yes. So I will ask our members, current and potential members, to watch this space. There is good news coming down the line for all of us. And yes, as Josh said, we constantly strive to make sure that our services to members are improved. I mean, those of us who were with the credit union from inception, they can testify, of how far we have come in terms of providing the money remittance services, because the process at the time, a couple of years ago, was a bit cumbersome, but now we have streamlined the process. Because make no mistake, the money remittance business is very competitive. It's a cutthroat business. Yeah. So we have to constantly make sure that we satisfy our members with convenience as well. Yeah. Now, let me just make one thing clear. The credit union is a non-for-profit organization. Having said that, the credit union needs to make some surpluses in order to stay afloat, in order to pay its expenses, pay the software that the credit union runs on, pay external auditor fees, the FCA fees, and so on, and also be able to be in a position where dividends can be paid to members. Now, our motive is not profit seeking. Otherwise, we will be charging ridiculous rate. That is why we have taken a conscious decision to ensure that any money remittance company or a partner that want to partner with must have low and competitive rates, competitive exchange rates. And in addition to that, we give cash back to members when they do business with their credit union. I also want to say that once you join the credit union, you are a member owner of the credit union. It is your business. It is your business. So it will be in your interest, personally and collectively, to do business with the credit union such that the organization grows to become what it needs to be. Now, the wider point, I must say, I don't know whether I'm jumping the gun here. The wider point why we want to grow this credit union is to be able to have an institution of our own, a sustainable institution of our own, such that maybe in a few years' time, say 10 years, give ourselves 10 years, it could become the Barclays of this world. It could become the Nationwide. Some of the big banks that we want to work for. Some of the big banks that we bank with them. Now, for those of us who are old enough to remember, there was a bank in Cameroon called Union Bank. Yes, and Union Bank in Cameroon sprang out of the credit union movement. Yes. So this is what we are trying to emulate here with Rencam Credit Union. We want to grow Rencam Credit Union to a point where we will be able to provide employment for ourselves, provide internship for our young people who come out of college and schools, to volunteer for the credit union, to have internships with the credit union, and be able to go out there with that experience and look for further jobs. At this moment in time, we've had about 5 or 6 members who have volunteered with the credit union in one way or the other. The credit union has provided excellent references. They have got on to get jobs, well-paid jobs, I must add. So we want to encourage young Cameroonians, especially who live in the UK, who are students in various colleges and universities, that look, we have a credit union here, we have an infrastructure here. You just need to volunteer your time, 6 months to a year, work for the credit union. Obviously, that will be good experience when you come out of college. For example, I mean, it will still be there. You know, whenever you go, especially if you are a first job seeker, they will always ask for experience. So this is an opportunity that we have put in place to encourage ourselves, and especially the young ones, to come and volunteer for the credit union and grow this business, because after all, they are the next generation. They will inherit the credit union from us. So it will be in their best interest, in the interest of everyone, to join us, become members, and let's grow the credit union. And I must also add that we have an asset here. Some companies buy other companies just because of the license that they've got. The credit union has a banking license. That is an asset for the community. Now, the Rencam Jangi has done the heavy lifting to apply and get this license from the Bank of England. And this is an opportunity for those of us. If I keep saying Cameroon, no, I'm not excluding other people. I'm just saying, I'm just kind of putting everybody in one pot, because after all, you must have some affiliation to Cameroon before you become a member of the credit union. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that we need to grow this credit union to become an institution of repute in the future. Now, other communities they do their own thing. Yes. The Asians do their own thing, the Jews will do their own thing, and so on. The example that I always quote is Londis. There's a corner shop, a chain of shops in the UK called Londis.
Yeah.
A few years back, let's say 10 years back, you could hardly hear of Londis. Yes? Now, Londis, if you go to Petros, if you were to drive on any major motorway, you will see that the shops are Londis shops. You go to towns, the shops are Londis shops. And guess who work there? They are the Asians who work there. We Africans go and shop. So what we effectively do is we give our money to other communities, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's about time that those of us from Africa, Cameroon in this case, we do something to benefit ourselves. Let the money circulate amongst ourselves. Let us create and grow these things for ourselves so that the next generation can inherit something that they will be proud of.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that in-depth explanation, Uncle Sammy. There are a few questions here. Mabi Abuno asks, is there a minimum savings required, Uncle George?
No, really. There is no. The minimum savings is £1.
£1.
There's a fee to join, a one-off fee of £10. Okay. In fact, it's really important to stress that when we started, that used to be an annual fee, but today it's actually a one-off fee. You pay £10 and that's it. You can save as much as you want up to the current limit, which is £15,000.
Okay, and Adeline asks, do we need guarantee to borrow as members?
Now, that is a very, very good question. Actually, that's one of the things that when Sammy was explaining, I was just kind of like just further enhance. We are hoping to be able to grow the credit union to a point where we can increase the borrowing ratio. Okay. At the moment, the borrowing is limited to how much you've saved. You need to have saved for some time before you can borrow. And we've currently capped the maximum borrowing to £2,000, subject to how much you've saved. But you can get a surety and a guarantor and borrow more than that. If you have a guarantor, you can borrow certainly a lot more than that. So our aspiration is to reach a point where people can actually take loans and put to a deposit towards a mortgage. But we are not there yet.
And we can only get there if more people.
We can only get there if the membership grows.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I answered the question.
Yes, I think on that, Eunice says you'll be receiving my application soon, so that's great.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes.
So,
thank you, Eunice.
There's another question that somebody asked. Sickle Cell NX Med says, NS Technomed says, it is very important to explain this vital aspect, that it is your business as a member. People need to understand this vital selling proposition of the credit union approach of credit union. Aisha Kisha says, first ever Cameroonian financial institution in the UK with standards of the likes of Barclays, Lloyds. Oh, I think she's saying she's just adding, echoing what you said, that if we grow, we would get to that. And Tessie asks, and if I may ask, what are your benefits as the founders if it is not a profit-making entity, or is it a charity?
Right. Let me take that one. All of us who are working for this credit union are volunteers. So we volunteer our time. Now, I always make a joke that if George and I were just paid £1 every day, not even on an hourly basis, we will be a millionaire by now. But that's not the point. The point is that those of us who are volunteering for this credit union, we have the passion, we have the patience, we have the perseverance, because we believe in the vision, and we've stuck by that vision ever since. Yes. So I only hope that people will join us to realize that vision. We are not there yet, but that vision is there. We will be taking baby steps, albeit, but I hope that we are going to arrive our destination.
So in other words, you don't get paid?
No, we don't get paid. No, not at all. We are doing this on a voluntary basis, all of us. So let me just explain the structure of the credit union. We have members of the board. We have the board, which is made up of about 5-6 members. We do have a supervisory committee, which performs the role of internal audit to ensure that our processes and the controls are sacrosanct. We do have the operations team as well, those who do the daily work to ensure that your monies are delivered to Cameroon. For example, when you need a share withdrawal, it is processed on time, and so forth and so forth. Yeah. So in terms of the structure of the credit union, you do have a lot of checks and balances. And again, I would say the credit union is externally audited. That is a regulatory requirement. So we have an independent firm of auditors, chartered accountants, who actually act as our consultants at the same time. So they give us advice.
Okay, that's great. Anything to add, Uncle George? I wanted to ask though, is the board elected?
Yes, the board is indeed elected, usually at the AGM.
Okay.
Every member is free to apply whenever. In fact, the board, we actually have a very strong, strict set of regulations, and ours come from the APQ, which is the regulatory body for credit unions in the UK. We are a member of APQ, by the way. So everything we do is in line with APQ, which is, as I said, is the body that regulates all credit unions in the UK. Okay, so there is a structure. There's a very fixed way where each year, one set of members vacancies arise, and any member is free to apply.
Okay.
To join, just like you have in any other major organization in the country.
That's reassuring.
And we do encourage people to actually apply to join the board.
Yes.
That's reassuring. Emi asking again, congratulations to the Rencam team. What is the interest per pound, per thousand, etc.? That interest question keeps coming up.
Can I just take that just to clarify? Because we are not a bank, we don't go out and seek to raise funds in the financial markets. We are not allowed to do that. Banks kind of like gamble your money by borrowing from other institutions, put it towards mortgages and stuff like that. Because we are not allowed to do that, we are not therefore allowed to pay interest. For us to be able to pay interest will mean we have a fixed way of generating income that we can look ahead and say, okay, we're going to pay a fixed amount per pound or per £1,000 and so on. No, so instead, what we do is we pay dividends, which is declared annually. Those dividends are literally our consultants, which are the external editors. They audit our books totally independently. Okay, they look at our books and say, you know what, we think that you guys are doing so well, we might be able to pay so much interest. Over the past few years, our dividends range from around 0.75 to, I think the maximum we pay is about 1.5% within the past few years since we've been operating. Okay, so on average, if you compare that to a bank, the bank's interest is 0.005%.
Okay.
For you saving up to, in some cases, £30,000.
Yeah.
Before you get to that level. So really, relatively we are better than banks, but we don't call it interest. We call it dividends, which is declared annually.
Yeah.
Right.
And for anybody who is watching, if you want to go do your research, it is true. Credit unions they offer better saving rates than banks generally. Somebody had a question as well. Elvis is just coming, and Elvis, the answer to your question is no. Can non-UK residents members become members? Not yet. Maybe Rencam is thinking of that in the future. And somebody actually asked that earlier on, that with so much interest from non-UK residents, are you guys looking to maybe, I don't know, take that out to Europe? Is that possible? Yeah, I know you answered that earlier, but for the benefit of those who are joining.
I think it would really depend on the regulations, because we are a regulated body. We are limited on our own. We would love to sort of like be able to spread to the UK, to Europe or other countries, but because our license is with the Financial Conduct Authority, Bank of England, we are regulated by them, and therefore we can only do what our limitations are set in stone by them. For example, the saving limit that I talked about earlier, that saving limit is set by them, not by us.
Okay. So Adeline is saying this, and I think you've answered that, but if you can repeat that. As a member of CAMQ, we get some cash as investors at the end of every year. Do you have similar benefits for members? I think it's a dividend you were explaining, but if you want to take that, okay?
Yeah, I would say the benefits for member is literally by you using our service. I think that's a really major benefit. Somebody who's not saving with the credit union and they are making use of our money remittance service. Imagine that you're making, I think from memory last year, one of our members made over £37 in profit just for sending money to Cameroon.
Wow.
They have better rates, and they made so much more money, which was paid back into their credit union account. And they can just simply withdraw that money and make use of it. So really, those are salient benefits which people don't recognize. But they are actually, they do really amount to quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's a compelling reason for me personally. But I'm going to ask this question. So, from everything you guys have explained to us, the audience, why should I, Goretti, join Rencam Credit Union today?
Okay. Right. I think the discussion that we've had so far, the benefits have been explained, maybe not in a more structured way. Yeah. So, by becoming a member of the credit union, you own the credit union. That is kind of number one benefit. You own the credit union. You have something to contribute to grow the credit union. Upon becoming a member, other members of your family are eligible to join. And I must also add that your children are eligible to join the credit union for free.
Okay.
And part of this is financial education.
When you say for free, because the fee is
£0.
Yeah, but for the adults, how much is the fee?
£10, the one-off fee.
One-off £10.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So your children are eligible to join for free in terms of them not paying any membership fees. Yeah? Then your savings are secured. Yeah, in the sense that if anything goes wrong with the credit union, you are eligible for compensation of up to £85,000. Yeah, well, you may argue that that is applicable to other financial institutions, but then, in terms of our own, compared to other schemes like the Njangi's schemes, which we so cherish very much, this is an added benefit. Yes.
True.
To the fact that, your money will be totally safe if anything goes wrong with the credit union.
So question. So are you guys covered by the UK FCS, what's that thing called, FSCS?
Financial Services compensation scheme.
Compensation scheme. That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, we are
yes.
covered.
Great. Okay.
Yes. As a saver, you take comfort in the fact that your savings are used to help other members of your community. Yes. So the credit union is made up of savers and borrowers. So you take comfort in the fact that at least the savings that you have are being used to help other members of your community. So you take comfort in that.
Explain that a bit more. Okusami.
Well, in this, yes.
In what sense? How is it helping us?
Yes. Okay. We believe in the abundance mentality in a way, in the sense that when you join a community, you want to help out other members of the community who may be in need. Yes. So in this case, your savings is like you have that abundance, right? Someone who is borrowing or who is in need of money will have that ready source of actually borrowing the money, albeit at a modest interest rate. So that way you are helping in a way to help members of your own community.
Yeah, to grow the Cameroonian community.
Fine. That's correct. So that way we kind of manage our own finances. We keep the finances within us, instead of the member of your community going off to Santander to borrow the money and pay the interest which would be to the benefit of shareholders that you don't even know.
Yeah.
Those shareholders will use the money to develop their own communities.
Sure.
So this is a way of actually economically empowering ourselves.
Definitely.
To make sure that money circulates amongst ourselves. Money should only go out of our community if necessary. That's how we put it. Yes. So that explains why I made that statement of, by being a member of the community, that means you have that abundance mentality where there is enough to go around.
Yes.
Everyone. Yes. So savings means you have the abundance. Then the needy, in terms of the borrowing at a lower interest rate, will tap into those savings. Yes. And also, we've talked about the benefits, the very short-term benefits of transferring money through the Rencam Credit Union, where money is, you get some cashbacks and all that. But these are very short-term benefits. The overall benefit from our point of view, from those who started this credit union, was to build something for ourselves, something that we call our own, something that will provide an opportunity for our young ones to come out of college, get internships on a voluntary basis, as the case may be, and get that necessary experience. Because that requirement to have an experience to even start your first job will always be there. So this is an unquantifiable benefit which we have to recognize, that if we are patient enough, we persevere enough, we put in the effort to build this credit union, then the sky is not even the limit.
Yeah.
So that is a long-term vision, which will be the benefit, the unquantifiable benefit. Now, just imagine your kid coming out of university, and they are very proud to go and work for a Cameroonian organization.
Yeah.
And maybe at some point, we start paying the big bucks. Would that not be nice?
Great. It really would be great. Yes.
Yeah. So that is the raison d'etre of all our efforts. Otherwise, I mean, somebody like George and myself, we have our own careers. We have our own day jobs. George has got everything going for him in terms of career. I have got the same, other members of the board, and so on and so forth. But then we had to give something back to the community. And the way we have decided to give something back to the community is to donate our time for free to build this credit union. Yes.
Yeah, and there are a few people who say, Rencam says, sorry, let me go up and read that. we Cameroonians in the UK are privileged to have Rencam, but are not making use of the opportunity. I have been a member for the past 6 years, and I can say that the services provided is excellent. So how long has Rencam been in existence? 7 years?
Yes, 7 years. We, as I said before, we got the license precisely on the 31st of October 2019 at around 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. That is when the license came through. And the following morning, we started operations.
That's great. Esther is also a member. She says, I am a member and I use the services all the way. Join, and be part of the system. Esther, you've been using it for how many years? Why didn't you tell me about it? That's my friend. Okay, so that's great. So there are people who are watching who are members of that. And I mean,
is that Kemayang?
No. I feel like I know Esther very well.
Esther Tabo, the pharmacist.
Oh, right, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
So
well done, Esther.
Anyway, thank you, guys. If there are any before we go, actually, what's the future for Rencam, Uncle George? I mean,
to be honest with you, wonderful for me, as Sami has already said, what I really look forward to is a future where people in the UK can literally go into Rencam and take a loan to go and put as a deposit towards their mortgages, where groups can plan huge projects and the money can readily come out of the credit union, where all the groups in the UK are part of the credit union. We all working together. Yeah, because that's the only way that will grow. At the moment, we are so fragmented in everything that we do. We're fragmented a lot in the things in our various monetary dealings. But if we were to pool all that money together, can you imagine what we can do with it?
As a community.
As a community.
You're right.
And you have a huge project worth millions, say in Cameroon.
Yeah.
And you can get the money from the credit union because the credit union would have been in a position where they can stand that particular project.
Yes.
That's really my vision for the credit union. That's why I put in so many hours, day and night, in the credit, to make it become a reality.
Correct.
Honestly, I think I asked the question a couple of days on my post, because we really need to be thinking of building wealth in our community instead of just building for the now. And I think that Rencam really hits the mark on that. You know, a credit union that's thinking of building wealth for the Cameroonian community, or primarily, you understand. And I think that's a very noble thing. So I thank you guys, and all those who are members, please spread the word so other people, because my sister has been a member, Esther, and I didn't know about Rencam. So if you're a member, make yourself an ambassador, you know, and take the word out there so that we all know about what this amazing opportunity that we have in the community. There was a final question. There was a question. Mabi is asking, how do we get in touch?
You can join by going to our website, which is rencam.co.uk. Yes. On that website, everything, by the way, is all done via the website. Yeah. So if to membership, you go via the website, rencam.co.uk. To join, you go there. To take a loan, you go at the website, fill in the form, submit it. To withdraw your cash, you go to the same website, you fill in the form, and we will handle that for you as well. So we are largely online at the moment. But hopefully, as I say, one of the things that if we grow large enough, we'll be able to actually rent a premises where we can then begin to employ the young people to actually come in and get this work experience that we've been talking about.
Okay. Afo says, you all are blessed. How I wish something like that was here in Sweden, right? Afo, this is why we need to know more about it. So that's the website.
Yeah, so can I add something? Sorry, can I just add something to that? In terms of applying for membership, it is very simple. You go onto the website, which is rencam.co.uk, at the top right corner, there is a membership area. You just click on it. There's a drop-down menu. You select individual membership. It takes you about between 5 to 7 minutes to complete the form. The form comes to the credit union and is processed, and then we take it from there. Yes. So it's very easy. We've actually, as I said before, when we started the credit union, everything was on paper. So we'll go knocking at doors for people to enlist their names and fill in forms and so on. But now it is web-based. It's very simplified. It would not take up to 10 minutes to complete that form.
Yeah. So Tessie is saying something which I'm going to read out. She says, so those are some great benefits, and we need to sell that even more. But one thing I find missing is the benefits to the founders giving up their time to run the CU. They are volunteers, and yes, I agree they have a social mission, but I am confident they will have other small benefits which might not necessarily be financial, but that is what they are not saying. That should be part of their selling point. So do you guys understand what she's trying to ask?
I do. Personally, I do. But the honest truth is, we look at this as something that we created. I'll tell you something. In fact, I've been a treasurer of the credit in Jangi for a very long time, as you started at the beginning. Okay. I could see the impact of people being able to borrow 100 pounds, 200 pounds. Okay. Managing that borrowing process and paying back the money. I saw that impact. And I've come across people who borrow money from the likes of Wonga and be chased for paying back that money. To be honest with you, one of the things that I love is to be able to help people. In my other endeavors, it's actually helping people. So I'm afraid there's no other ulterior motive or ulterior benefit for me other than to see the whole thing succeed. Correct. That, to me, will be the biggest benefit. If by the time I leave this world, there's something that has my name, that at least I was part of it. I did have to build it. That's all that my motive. Yeah. I don't have to be paid to do that. If it grows enough, at some point in the future, and the credit union is big, and the board decides that, okay, we'll be able to pay the operation staff, it's maybe a small thing. Yeah, that will be fine. But for now, we've not reached that stage yet. And if we start focusing on that, we will be destroying the very thing that we're trying to build. That's the main reason why we're all focusing on growing the credit union rather than having some kind of a personal benefit.
Yeah, and I love what Esther says here. She says legacy, and everything follows.
Yeah,
you're building a legacy for. Yeah, and of course, if things go well in the future, there will be money made as dividends as members and founders. That was a brilliant response. Any final things to add, Uncle Sammy?
Yes, I just want to take this opportunity to actually pay a tribute to Rencam Jangi for coming up with the seed money, the seed capital, for the credit union to kick off, because we realize, and we must have we must take cognizance of that fact that the Rencam Jangi had to put up about £10,000 of its money that had been accumulated over the years to see this credit union grow. Oh, wow. And they are not expecting that money back, right? So I just need to, on behalf of those who are managing the credit union, past and present and future, to thank the Rencam Jangi of Cameroonians, or Rencam Jangi, who are based in Reading, for coming up with this idea and seeing it to fruition. So I want really, really to commend Rencam Jangi for that effort. And also, I want to congratulate our current members for sticking with us. We may not have had it right, but we are on the road to get there. We are on our way to get there. Yeah. And we have that passion, we have that patience, we have that perseverance, we have the tenacity to actually ensure that the credit union outlives us and is bequeathed to the next generation in a very solid stage. And that can only happen if all of us, I cannot emphasize enough, if all of us, please, all of us, we join hands, because the heavy lifting has been done already. Getting that license from the Bank of England was no joke. I mean, those who were with us at that time will testify that getting that license from the Bank of England is like pulling a tooth out of somebody. But that heavy lifting has been done. We just want Cameroonians or those who qualify to join us and become members. We use our financial resources and manage those financial resources in-house and only go out there when it becomes necessary. So I think with that, I would like to end there and just encourage ourselves that we grow this baby. It's the toddler now, actually. You know, we are now at the takeoff stage, and the faster we can go will depend on the push from the whole Cameroonian community in particular, those who live in the UK, I must add.
Uncle George, any final words?
I think I really pay tribute to our current members, the ones that actually go out of their way to make use of the credit union. Yeah, those are the people that, I mean, a lot of members, I sometimes tell them, you know what, if you're trying to do something and it doesn't work, call me privately and I will help push it forward. But that's just because I really honestly believe in what we are doing. I believe so passionate about it. And likewise for Sami as well. A lot of people think that we are being paid to do what we're doing. And I mean, I'm really so passionate about it, and I just wish that there are other people in the UK that develop the same passion, and we can all move forward. And you know, it will benefit all of us, really. So I thank all the members that our current members, and if each one were to go out and bring one additional member, we'll be quite a long way ahead. So yeah, thank you guys.
Jerry, thank you very much, Uncle George. Jerry is asking again. Jerry, if you're just joining us, the response to that is it is only for Cameroonians who are based in the UK and people with interest in the Cameroonian community. So not only Cameroonians, but if you've got any Cameroonian affiliations, then you are eligible, right?
Absolutely.
Correct. Yes.
Just to point, there's our ancillary services. Okay. The ones that we are actually bringing online soon will not only be for credit union members.
Okay.
Okay. So, for example, the money remittance, when we actually develop our own website for sending money, that will not be just for Cameroonians or for people who live in the UK. So hopefully, at least there will be something for
everybody.
For everybody. That's unfortunately the best that we can do at the moment with the current limitations around us.
So yeah, if you want, now is the time to join. Definitely, now is the time to join. Yeah. Thank you guys so much, and really, like everyone's saying in the comments, just to really commend you for this initiative, for something that's community building, and for your time. I understand when people are doing things out of altruism, not for any personal gain. And honestly, people like you are few and far in between in our community. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of the community that's watching and everyone that's benefiting or has benefited or will benefit from Rencam Credit Union. But yeah, so thank you. I was going to read more positive comments, but I'm giving you the opportunity to say your final words. And then Jerry, so Jerry still has more questions. Jerry, we're gonna the website is there, rencam.co.uk, and everything is explained. And if you have a minute, just watch this again. But in a minute, Uncle George or Uncle Sammy, just explain how people can join Rencam today.
Today, if you go to our website, https://rencam.co.uk, there's a menu at the top. On the top right hand part of the website, you click on membership, And under that membership, there are a number of menu items. One of them is personal membership for adults. There's a menu item for children, and then there's another menu item for groups and corporate. Okay, just click on one of those links and it will take you to a page where you can then fill in the form online, upload your proof of address and ID, and submit it, and we'll do the rest.
Great. I hope that answers your question, Jerry. So yeah, so I'm gonna put you guys backstage now, and but thank you very much for that. It's been really what?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us
on your show.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate
say bye to your guest as well. You said just to me. You said bye just to me. So
to our guests as well. I beg your pardon. To our audience. Our audience as well.
For your audience. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. So I'll keep you backstage now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Jerry, you're very welcome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to all those who contributed, especially members of Rencam for this is great. Filling in my membership application is a must be. Thank you guys, miss. Thank you very much, Henrina. Thank you guys. I really, really do think that this Rencam Credit Union is truly beneficial to our community. And if you know the people behind it, like I've gotten to know them over the past couple of months, you would really understand that these are people who are truly selfless and are truly believers of just that legacy. And so be open, as they are open to questions. If you've got any questions, ask about this. But I want to remind us, especially those of us in the diaspora, we've been talking a lot about how other communities are united, how other communities are growing, how other communities are doing fantastic things, and wondering why we cannot be like those other communities. Well, this is our chance, because like we said when we talked about, we had the last financial episode, if you cannot build wealth, if you don't have money, you don't have a voice in most societies. And as a minority group in the UK or in the West, if you don't have money, you can't impact anything really on a large scale. You cannot. And as they say, what's that? But there's a proverb we have, right? That if you bundle something that has to do with if you're together. Does anybody know what that proverb is? But you know what I mean. Many hands, what? It's not many hands to like work, but that what a broom, or if your fist is like this, the punch is harder. But if it's like this, it's separate. I can't remember for some reason. But I'm sure anybody who is African knows exactly what I'm trying to say about that that proverb. So let's come together. This is an opportunity for us to build the Cameroonian community, to build it financially, to build wealth, not just for us now, but for our children and even our children's children. Rencam will tomorrow, with our help, with all of us being members, will tomorrow be HSBC, will tomorrow be Barclays, and it will be what beneficial to us, and especially those of us who join now. If it becomes a profit-making thing, guess what? You've left something for your children and your children's children. Again, that word legacy building. So this is our opportunity. So I commend Rencam, those who you know, the originators of this idea, creating this credit union, and I urge every single one of us to be a part of Rencam Credit Union. And so thank you guys for your time. We're back on Friday, and we'll have again another really interesting, informative conversation, and I will see you Friday. And if you're new, if you're watching us because of Rencam or the guests we had today, we hold our show every Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. UK time. So we're currently in the same time with Cameroon Central African time. So every Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. on the Woman Experience, we are a learning via our shared experiences platform, interactive as you can see. So please join us on Friday. Join us next week, Wednesday. We are here every Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. And if you haven't already, please go and like our page. Our Facebook page is The Goretti Experience. Our YouTube page is The Goretti Experience as well. So subscribe to our page, like our page, and support. Let's grow this platform, which we all seem to benefit so much from. And to the TWE community, thank you so much. To enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you on Friday.